And joining us live in the studio at this time is Alikor Victor, a development economist, to throw more light on the CBN's benchmark interest rates. Welcome to the News Hour.
Thank you very much for having me. A pleasure.
So some experts have predicted this increase rates. Did you also emphasize this increase rates, looking at the inflation rates in the country?
Yes. So just like you rightly mentioned, some experts, including myself, had projected that the CBN MPC committee was going to make or increase the MPR as expected, because looking at the current inflation rate we have at the moment in the country is a record we have had in a long while. It only demands that the MPC committee try to see how they can increase the MPR. By that, what they are trying to do is to ensure that they make it more difficult for individuals to borrow money. So that policy, what it connotes is that they're trying to contract the economy, reduce economic activities in the economy, and by that, strongly believing that inflation would draw down.
Victor, you are an economist. You deal with these figures every day, and therefore this is not new to you now. For the ordinary Nigerian, what does this mean for the economy? The market woman in the market and the other man in the street who is already battling with the hardship going on. What does this mean? Excellent.
So it has a lot of multiplier effect. So the first, if you look at the household, by increasing the MPR to 24.75%, what it implies is that it would definitely encourage savings from the household. So what it means is that individuals are encouraged to save because there will be more interest in savings. So, and again, what it also implies is for households who have borrowed or who are living on some loans or have some debts to pay, they will have to spend more of their disposable income. So what it means is that the household will have less disposable income to spend in the economy. So again, all of this is, like I said, to try to contract the economy, reduce money supply in the economy. By that, they believe they will drag down inflation. So for the market woman, another thing they should also expect from the business side is that economic activity is expected to slow down as a result of this policy. Again, profit or their gains from sales is also expected to drop. So for businesses who are already on loans, or businesses who are already on debts, bank will have to adjust their interest rate on borrowing. So by that, on a long-term basis, it will remove or reduce the gain for businesses. So from the households, they would also have a situation where they would have their disposable income, that's their ability, their purchasing power, would drop drastically. So Nigerians should expect, the normal man on the street should expect that as a result of this policy, the MPC reducing the MPR in this particular quarter, they will have a situation where their purchasing power, their ability to spend, consumption power would drastically drop. So by that, what the Central Bank of Nigeria is trying to do is to mop up more capital within their coffers, reduce the money supply in the economy, and therefore economic activities will plummet, inflation technically, supposedly, will also drop.
Okay, Victor, some people have argued that increasing the interest rate will put burden on borrowing for business owners. Do you also agree with this?
Excellent. That's true. It will. So for businesses, so the way it works, by increasing the MPR, what the central bank have succeeded in doing is to tell people that we want to make it more difficult for you to borrow, or we want to make the cost implication for you to borrow to become more difficult. Because the central bank at the moment is saying we have a lot of money in circulation. So for us to reduce inflation, we have to reduce the amount of money in the economy. So how do we do this? We have to make it difficult for individuals, we have to make it difficult for households, we have to make it difficult for businesses to lend from commercial bank or the deposit money bank, as the case may be. So remember that the central bank is the one regulating the money supply in the economy. And what they have done through the MPR is one of the instruments of monetary policy in economics. So by that, it's going to affect businesses, yes, because their revenue most likely is going to drop because economic activities will contract. People's ability to buy or purchasing power would also reduce. On the long run, for businesses who have already borrowed or have made some have some credit issues to settle with some of their banks, would have more money to pay as a result of this policy. Yes.
And now it's going to also reduce employment.
Yes.
And those who have no jobs at this time, who are probably hoping to get a job between now and the end of the year, are now going to have to wait longer. And that's more problems for them. Don't you agree with that?
Again, it also calls for question. The contentious statistics released by the MBS before said that 4.2% are unemployed. Then it was later released, the most recent figure shows that it has increased to about 5%. If we are to believe that figure, which personally I don't believe that statistics on unemployment, then we have to make deal with what we have. However, while we know it's going to affect employment opportunities in the country, that's correct. But again, these are measures that we have to put in place to checkmate excesses in the economy. So if you look at the cost-benefit analysis, do you want to have a situation where the money or income businesses, households are getting and losing more value as a result of inflation? Or do you want to technically have a periodic issue of maybe slight increase in unemployment rate? Which would you go with? I think I'll go with the first option.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Alikor Victor, a development economist. Thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.